Good evening, not good evening. I don't know where you are. Ciao.
Ciao.
Good evening only to Beppe. The other good morning, I think. Ah no, also Claudio. I have to change my name. Giusto.
We can start.
Ciao.
Hi, Phil.
Hi, James. We're hearing Marconi's music.
Yes, we are.
I can't start in a different way. I can start this evening. I can start this evening quoting and remember Ennio Morricone, who passed away just this week, leaving us with a lot of memories about cinema, but not only, about movies, but not only, about life, above all, about the meaning of life and the meaning of the dead. So in my back, I put this frame from one movie, and this soundtrack of this movie is Nuovo Cinema Paradiso. This soundtrack was composed by Ennio Morricone, and this before we saw and we listened this soundtrack of Once Upon a Time in America, maybe the most famous Morricone's soundtrack. But in my back, for my background, I choose this movie because a little bit biographic for me, because talk about a man left Sicily to search his life in the north of Italy. But the meaning of his life is in this small village, in those first years of his life, when people was watching a movie in a square outside, like in a COVID time. So I I like to share with you this image to start this episode in this way. Remembering Ennio Morricone and his huge work. Welcome to everybody.
Thank you very much.
So, who could start this evening? Maybe Nele. Nele, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much.
You don't have a Pompeii in your back.
Yeah.
It's Rome. It's Villa di Livia
Ah, okay.
in Rome. Yeah.
Probably you and Luis will have more to talk about the chat, and I'm very happy to have with us also this evening also Luisa. Maybe already met, but I don't know. But sure, Michael, James, and Dave already met Luisa, as well as Claudio and Carbonio and Gregorio. And in the upper right corner, you can see from Helsinki, Emily, who told me that there is still a day, no? Because your sunset is at which time? When is your sunset? Now, just now, at 9 p.m.
Sorry, I forgot to turn on my microphone. Yes, it's just now.
Imagine. And James, as in the best family, we used come with a friend.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to make an introduction of my old friend and my mentor, Philip Smith, an architect. Now is also in New York, has been in New York, has been building New York. And Phil is in Long Island right now in East Hampton, but I'm not able to visit him in East Hampton, even though I'm in New York. But I'm glad to see my old friend online here. Phil, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
So Phil is my alumni. He's also from Columbia University. But he started his practice, very successful practice, long time ago in New York City. I sent you an image of his office and gallery in 23rd and Chelsea. I think everybody knows that building on the High Line. And him and his partner Doug has done work all over New York, and also he's educator, taught at CUNY and also Columbia. And anyways, a very, very good friend from many, many years. And also my spiritual mentor as a man and as an architect. So welcome, Phil.
Thank you,
Very
James.
good to see you.
And I'm going to be very silent today and just enjoy meeting everyone for the first time.
Yeah.
I hope to join you in the future also.
And so we are very happy to get a new friend, but also to see again our old friend like Dave and his amazing garden. Every week it seems more green. It seems more rich, and probably today you could tell us how was your July the 4th, the 4th of July party.
It was
Yeah.
quiet. a quiet 4th
No,
of July.
because to be honest, your friend James sent me a lot of images with a huge barbecue, and I and I said I have to go there. I have to go there.
I think James had the best 4th of July party. Yes, the grill was very full, and it looked very, very good. So I
Hi, Dave. Yeah.
did very
I
well.
wish you can come and join us. Yeah.
I wish I could.
Did you have fun?
James, you have
It's
fun?
it's
Yeah.
great to see New York come back alive after the last trip, which
But
Pepe and I were both in New
but
York at the
sorry,
same
James,
time, not knowing.
but James, are you in Central Park?
Yes, I'm in Central Park. I'm in the Great Lawn. Let me stand up and show you.
This is Gus.
And yes. Gus, nice to meet you.
He wants to join too.
And Mike, as usual, you are the first to have your early wake up. It's 5 a.m. in Perth.
It is. Good morning, everyone. Great to see you
But
again.
you are always so fresh, so smart, so shiny.
Good morning, everyone.
How is it going there? How are you? Your family?
Good.
The guy?
Very good here.
Currently here is winter, no?
Yeah. Opposite of David. Still green because it's Australia, but a little bit cold and a little bit less sunshine. But no winter here. It's not like Europe or America.
How many degree? Which temperature you have?
Oh, maybe 10 degrees now, but not very cold.
Wow, pretty cold.
Good. But I'm seeing all of the James's adventures in New York. I'm very jealous as well.
Now we have to give space to Claudionelli before he fall asleep. Because as you know, me and Claudio, suppose we are the only one in this group ready to fall asleep around 10:30, 11, no?
Even 8 o'clock.
You also around 9, I suppose.
Yes.
because
I took a Red Bull for
because on my desk I still have a lot of paper with sketches I done to
About what?
yeah, a lot of sketches about Milano I prepared last week for this nice event. Claudio and his association Urban File organized and make it be real charity event with a huge great parterre, great participation from a lot of architects active in town. But Claudio, you can talk about this better than me.
Where
yes,
it was?
so,
Where? Dove?
No. As we told you a couple of weeks ago, we made some T-shirts for charity with the district of Milan. But we told you that we were going to prepare a surprise, and so 3 weeks ago I started to contact all my friends, architects in Milan, ask them to make a design for us for a special T-shirt. And I thought that architects were too posh to say yes, and we have now 30 different T-shirts with 30 different architects. and from Renzo Piano, Boeri.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so Claudio is shy, but me are not shy, so I have to be his promoter, and I share. I have to share with you his website. Because Urban File is a nice website with a daily activity to inform people about everything's happening in town about architecture, urbanism, and not only about the relationship about the urban spaces and humans. Different kind of humans, no? Humans with bicycle, pedestrians, developers, and because
Haters.
yeah, because it's interesting this aspect of their activity. Now, try to match, try to create debates between all these stakeholders, as people currently say, and. And the T-shirt is very nice, no? This is, of course, the most beautiful, I suppose, because it's the T-shirt I designed.
If
But
you click
also,
on it, you can open the gallery.
thank you, sir. But also this one, for example, by Alessandro Scandura is very nice, no? Because it's really symbolic, no? A lot of people around an empty circle, no? Because
Pepe, if you click on the image, they will be bigger.
Ah, great. I have also a boss. I don't only have to be his promoter, also he guide me. Okay. This is from Alessandro Scandura, my friend. Is very nice because it's, as you know, everybody drawn a circle to separate people, no? But it's nice this image where people is out of the circle in a real crowded space, and the circle is empty. No, it's very nice. This is from no, starting in order by the first one.
Yes.
Your one,
The main one.
where is your one?
The main one is a Gestalt.
The first one.
Gestalt, as our German-speaking friends could say, is a Gestalt play. So Milan is a great Milan, as an old song say. This is from Alessandro Scandura, also Antonio Citteri and Patricia Viel. A lot of architects. Andrea Maffei, this is one of the most famous plant in Milano, the former cemetery of Rotonda della Besana, Asti Architects. My friend Alfonso Fenia, this is the corner, very nice building he built in Melchiorre Gioia, close to Piazza Gaeolenti, Barreca e Lavarra. A lot of Calzoni, Sonia.
The only girl.
The only one,
the only
really?
woman.
No,
Yes.
okay. Now I can close this connection. Only one girl in the middle of all these architects. Why?
Yes.
Because in Milano.
I don't know. I tried because.
No. Okay. So next edition would be the pink T-shirts. And we have to select at least a dozen of women. Okay?
I tried.
We have Luisa Nelle can help us. We can start with Luisa Nelle, okay? The pink T-shirt. Women for Milano, okay?
Okay. We have a good news because Libeskind just joined today.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, this is also from Chino. Our friend Mike Chino designed this one. I think you can recognize this style, no?
Bella, questa qui è bella.
Oh, I like this one.
a lot of architect.
Pepe, can I have one of every shirt?
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Yeah. But Claudio and his partners really do a great job for Milano. Not only in this weird period, but in this period more than usual. So, James, what's happened?
Thank you very much.
You lost the connection, James. You lost the connection. Maybe in Central Park the connection is not so nice. So, Mele, what about your crazy week last week?
Last week,
Yeah.
what about? So, yeah, I thought what I could share, and I thought I just share some words about the discussions in architecture in Switzerland. So many people here are now discussing if the urbanism is changing because of Corona. And then, for example, there was an interview with Vittorio Maniaco Lampugnani, who is actually also living in Milano at the moment. And
Our master, Vittorio.
yeah, he's my PhD father. He's very important for my professional career. And so he, of course, is always skeptic about big movements, and he says like urbanism is not, it's not the job of urbanism to react too much. But then what I think is really changing in the world is the travel. We are all traveling much less, and it's going to be more difficult in the coming years. And here in Switzerland, the companies, they are now discovering the home office actually is something also valuable for them. So they have to pay less money. And I made during my last 10 years, I made the last 6 years, I made some research about living and like the living of the future. And so I think this is going to be like a huge topic to have the home office included maybe in many more apartments than today. And it might be interesting to think of how could that look like. And then, yeah, actually, because of there's less travel, less migration back and forth, there's going to be a concentration into the apartments. It's going to be more and more important.
As you said, it's a huge topic. It's a huge topic because really the debate is started because also for me it's not bad to work in this way, because in this way I'm really connected with a lot of people, but also I has not met people. I have not met people in the last 4 months.
Yes.
So it's nice, but it's also dangerous. No, for my mind. No. Yes, it's true because for example, in my office, no, I work with a lot of girls, no. But in this period, in my office, I totally alone. So when I go to the supermarket and I met a girl, I have a little bit of shock. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, but I'm joking. But my friend James Kiwi can feel what I mean. Well, you are having a coffee in the bar close the entrance to South, from South. Le Pan, the French bar close to the South entrance. Where are you? Where are you, James?
I am, well, let me show you. So this is the south elevation. I'm looking south.
You're in the Great Meadow.
I'm in the Great Meadow, yeah. The middle of the Great Meadow.
Oh, great.
So now this is the west side. You can see the west side. And people, you can see that those two blue towers, Columbus Circle, the Hertz building, 220 South Central Park South, those are two new towers going up. That black triangular thing is the tower by Jean Nouvel next to MoMA. That's the old piano building. There's the, now I'm facing the Plaza Hotel, and that's the 422 Park. That's by Vignoli. Now I'm looking at the east side. So yeah, I'm in the gray lawn in the middle.
But also,
and there's not that many people.
Does Philip live in New York? I didn't understand. Also, Philip,
yes, Philip has been in New York his entire life. I mean, but he's also traveled to Japan, Indonesia, many Asian countries, and worked there. Worked for Maki, and then came back to New York and started his practice, and then have built many things in New York and also in Long Island.
So, Luisa, I invited Luisa today, and because last time Luisa was with us to meet Liu Yang and Matteo Moscatelli, because we was talking about Mantova Architectural Festival, no? As Michael knows, is a nice meeting where we can find a lot of many important contributors to talk about architecture. And last year in Mantova we met Liu Yang. So the last episode, Luisa was with us because Luisa designed this archaeological building. It's funny. I don't know how we can define your project because it was architecture. It is architecture where a lot of people don't use architecture needs, no? Because as you know, some people think that to preserve archaeological building, the best thing is something to be anonymous, no? For example, this some kind of canopy, because the architect have to disappear in front of the archaeological ruin, in front of this archaeological site. But Luisa, you can explain better than me. This is your kind of research. This is what you teach to your student, I suppose from 20 years, 2 years, because you are too young for 20.
No. You are joking. I'm not so too young for 20.
I met Luisa.
Italian spiritoso. He's joking.
knows
I'm very old.
No, we have the same age, and or like some younger interns. Like some interns tell me we are from different era. I'm not a dinosaur. No, I'm not a crocodile. I'm not a cat. But
I have to tell you a story.
Me and Luisa come from the same generation, and I remember since we started as a researcher, as architect, she started studying Piccionis. Who is?
Yes, really.
Tell us who is Piccionis, because I remember the memories I have, the memories like more than other about Piccionis as you showed me, is that part, the pedestrian part, that flooring in Athens. But you can tell about better than me.
Cosa faccio? Condivido?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you need your daughter to share your screen to help you?
No, my daughter is in holiday. I'm alone here. No daughter, no son, I'm alone. So I'll try.
Yeah.
Adesso lo vedete?
Yes.
Sì.
Okay. This is Piccionis. I was speaking about him. I was sure you was seeing. This is Piccionis, young Piccionis, and this is his magazine I was speaking about before, and all picture about coming about contemporary painters. Painters coming from tradition of Greek tradition, and you can see on the left, on down left, this is the picture of Kyriakos Gikas, who was a painter, friend of Le Corbusier and Zanfan and Piccioni. So you can see a purist, a kind of purist painting. And those just to say something about Piccioni, just to try to make you understand what he did in this during this period. This is a little church, modern church, that he tried to build together with a friend, an architect, a friend who was an architect, and in trying to design a modern, with a modern composition, a little chapel coming from, taking some aspect coming from his tradition. Now, you can see all Athens, the plan of all Athens, and in color, which is today still reading of ancient Athens. Athens was a double town, the city center and the harbor. And there were a long wall which joined the two towns. And as Athens as a particular was composed in a particular way because it had many hills, and everything was developed around these hills. This is Athens as you see in the first years of 18th century. It was a little village. You can see the Acropolis, and the other hills, they were still very clear and very, you could see them and recognize them. In the Athens of today is...
Which year is this? Which year is this?
1885, last years of 18th century, 19th century, 19th century, 1885.
And another thing.
Yes,
completely.
Yes, completely different. And you can see some sketches from Piccionis. His theory was that thanks to a new project, all ancient remains could reborn again and become something different, or somewhere different. And you can see all which is now recognizable of ancient Athens, the city center, and in gray you can see the Turkish town, and in white with some shadows, the neoclassical town. It's important because in the years in which everything was built in Athens, the neoclassical Athens was completely destroyed. Only few buildings remains, and this is important because we will see after why it is important. In 1950, there were two different ways to build in archaeological sites. This is one where American Archaeological School of Archaeology rebuilt completely the Stoa of Attalo, and following the ancient way to build it. So they built columns and everything, but they rebuilt as they thought it was. Piccioni very near, made something completely different. It was asked to build 2 roads, which bring a visitor to the Acropolis and to the Philopapo Hills. Hill, which is near the Acropolis, in front of the Acropolis, but he didn't only build a road, a path, he made greater. And thanks to this path, I think it's possible to understand the ancient architecture and the ancient soul of Athens. Thanks to these 2 roads, only thanks to 2 roads. What he did, you can see the 2 paths he built. You can see the Acropolis and the 2 theaters on the south sides of the Acropolis, and the 2 paths are 2 rings, as finish with a ring. This is one, and this is the other one. The other one brings to the Philopapo Hill, and along the road there is also a little recinct, a little church with a little restaurant, a stopping place. Now this is a famous drawing by Piccionis, and this is you can see his path. As I told you before, all the hills, the particular character of Athens was that from you can see the architecture from a hill to another. So when you are on a hill, you can see all the other hills. And you have a particular view to the landscape, thanks to these hills and thanks to all things built on top of these hills. The Acropolis, the Areopago, the Philopapo, and so on. And it was very important for ancient Athens was walk. When you walk, you can see things. And this was the moment in which in Athens, when was born the name of Museion. Museion is not a building. Museion is walking inside and outside architecture, is walking and see some particular point of view, some particular view on architecture and some particular view on nature, on landscape. This is museum. It's not a building, but an ensemble of buildings that you can experience walking. And you can see in the left part, down in the left part, this is the Panathinaike way. This was the main way in which you can walk and see something. And all architecture you find during this, walking in this way, everything is composed and disposed just to have a particular view sites, particular view on the landscape and on architecture. This is the original term of museo. So you can walk and remember, think about something. And also the Metaphysica of Giorgio De Chirico was a dear friend of Piccionis. They studied together and they together founded the Metaphysica, which is a particular way of painting, Italian way of painting. And it was born thinking about ancient Athens. This is if you see on the left, also the Acropolis was built in such a way, so you are pushed to walk in and to see the architecture thanks to their disposition on the floor. So you are when you pass through the propylates, you have to stop because there is a very big step, and in this part you can see all architectures, and you have a particular point of view of the Acropolis. A particular because you can see all buildings together, and there is only a little part of this view which is to the landscape. You can see the other hills and the landscape. But around the Acropolis there are many of these points of view, very similar to this one passing through the Propylei in the Acropolis. And thanks to the past made by Piccionis, you can find them and experience them. Without this modern project, it's impossible to understand the ancient. I think it's a real rare case of in which, thanks to a modern project, you can understand the past. This is drawings that I found in Piccionis Archives, and where he found all these important points of view. This is a photo made by Piccionis. When you want, it is important. An old archaeologist, Pittakis, found many little remains. He didn't know what to do about these remains, so he decided to build a wall completely made by these little remains. And this wall was destroyed, but Piccionis remembered it. And when he was called to compose his path, he remembered it. And his path, you can see the black and white photo is a flash of his path. Is composed by stones which come from destroyed neoclassical houses. All these stones are coming from destroyed houses and ancient remains. He composed them just like he was very fond of Paul Klee, using the same composition rules and subjects. And down you can see a painting by Kyriakos Gikas, which explain this kind of composition. So this path is a huge collage of old stones and ancient stones. You can see is a huge composition to which participated students, other architects. Aldo van Eyck was very young. He was fond of these pavements. He was a friend of Temen, went to this in this place, and they were very touched by this great composition. It's not only a composition made just like a painting, but it's also particular because just like I told, just like in ancient architecture, you are just pushed to stop, to walk, and to see things thanks to architecture. And just to here you are some other images of this enormous. You can see the stairs are made with the cornicioni. I don't know how to translate, but it's clear are stones coming from destroyed houses. And there is also a stairs he made, and these stairs, thanks to these stairs, the archaeologists few years ago could find the first stadium in Athens, the most ancient stadium in Athens. Thanks to this point of view, studying the point of view, Piccionis made these stairs, and he guessed, he discovered this new stadium, which is excavated now, is going to be excavated now, really excavated now. You can see on the top the traces of this stadium. This is, here you are the stairs made by Piccionis. Piccionis also, these are two of his sketches. Also the little houses for guardians, for other things. He wanted to build them always using stones coming from old houses destroyed, and together with the ancient pieces that he found during the building of his path. Here you are some part of this path, and just like made just a basso rilievo, something. He also sculpted the stones he received from the house, from the destroyed house, and he transformed, he sculpted them just to make his composition. He also put some cement in parts just to guide the visitor to some particular place. And he also wanted to make understand that he is on the floor, but is not touching the floor. It looks like it's just like suspended. He also studied the plants, but the plants has got an important rule, because they make people to see the landscape. Here you are, this is another part of this collage. If you follow the suns, you can find some steps and a little stair, and you have to stop because you have to see this point of view. So if you follow all these little drawings on the path, you can see particular point of view of ancient Athens. So it is just like a guide, a stone, a guide for visitor made of stones. And this is another part, particular part. This is the ring on Philopapo Hills. He told that everything have to look like put by chance, but he studied a lot this composition, and his students very, very tired, because he tried to this composition for days and days and nights. But it should have to be just like something put by chance. And here you are a particular, an example of this way to guide the visitor. You are here walking, you have to do these steps, but you don't know where are you going, and suddenly you have the view. This is a particular place with the particular point of view to the Acropolis. And he rediscovered this point of view and built, thanks to his pavements, to his path. This is the view. I'm not a great photographer, so those are original photos made by Piccionis, and this is the place, this place, and some sketches which represented the point of view and how he would guide, he would push the visitor to walk, where to push the visitor to walk and what to see. Here you are some. You also broke vases, come si dice, plant vases, just to make the composition. And this is the stopping place during the path with the little church. The little church, existing little church was this one, and he make it bigger and built this strange place. It is totally made by wood and stones, recycled stones, and this is this is my drawing. This is the stopping place, the plan of the stopping place, the little church, the part made by Piccionis with the little porch, and the restaurant, which is made by stone walls and woods. This is the church you have seen before, and on the left you see a tradition, a church, and a stopping place of a little monastery coming from tradition in the mountains of Greece, and this is his project that he composed just like, those are drawings by Piccionis, and it was composed in a modern way. It's not an ancient, just like imitating ancient. This is my drawings. I had to make a measurement of this place because now it is abandoned, and there are it is going to be destroyed because it's not used. And those are drawings by Piccionis. On the top, you can see the composition of the stones, and also always drawings. He was Piccionis with 2 students helping him, and this is the work in progress. You can see Paul Klee on the down on the right, a drawing by Paul Klee. You can see the composition by Piccionis, and this is the work in progress. This is Piccionis in the center, and with some workers, and that's how he composed all the stones. And this is a particular place in the restaurant. You can see how he built with wood, just like in tradition, a modern, reinventing the tradition. This is the only point of view in which Partenone is frontal, the only. In all places around the Acropolis, the only point of view is this one. So he tried to make this composition of wood just to make it just like a peach. And he built his restaurant taking all techniques coming from tradition around Greece. Okay. I stop. I don't know if you understood, but I think it's a strange way.
You have to stop. You have to stop. So your student.
This is the work
break, because this evening I have a surprise for you. As in Italy during the 80s, we had a famous show on national TV called Caramba! What surprise! Where people can meet people from different parts of the world, from unexpected people. So this evening, Professor.
Ma come Caramba? You have Raffaella Carrà.
I have your student directly for you. I met you and your student in the same episode. It looks perfect, no? Alice Pozzoli.
Buonasera, prof. Hi.
She's my student. She's my student. So
at Politecnico di Milano. And is Luisa Ferro student, so a surprise for you. This evening I invited Luisa. And so it's
because I do some lesson about Piccioni. She knows it.
Yeah. I've already seen this presentation.
How are you, Alice?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm so late, but I was near Varese, so.
Are you having your course all on the web, on using Zoom?
Yeah. Today I met my colleagues to work on Professoressa Ferro study work. So this is why I'm late.
How you found her? Beppe.
Yeah.
With the intern.
Sorry?
Come l'hai trovata? Come me l'hai
It's a secret. Alice is like, for me, is like a ghostwriter.
L'hai incontrata al supermercato.
For me, Alice is my salvation, because I chat a lot, but I'm totally unable to resume. And Alice helped me to resume a lot of things. But about this, we can talk about this next time. This is this is another story. James. James, you sent me nice image. I would share with you.
Yes.
Let me check.
It's in the WeChat, I think.
Yeah, I saw. Let me try to share with you this image so you can explain what is this, because it's really nice architecture.
Hai capito, caramba, che sorpresa.
Let me share my screen, but it seems...
There is an Italian, no, a Milanese word, pirla. I can translate it.
No, because Alice always told me,
minuti, non si preoccupi.
she tells me, no, because my professor, Luisa Ferro, so I have a surprise for both.
My professor for 2 years, not only one.
James, what about? Your mic is not so nice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just some troubleshoot, some noise, maybe.
Signal is bad. Can you?
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes. My phone's a little slow. So this building is on the corner of 23rd Street in New York, in Chelsea area, right next to the High Line. It's something both contemporary and also has this Asian courtyard theme going on. The bottom 2 floors is a very well-known gallery called Jim Kepner Gallery in Chelsea. There's contemporary art, sculptures, and things. So the next image is actually the garden. And the 3rd floor is Phil Smith's office. And the 4th floor is his residence. So it's a very interesting, it's almost like a mini city that has the function of exhibition, art, work, and living, and but all in a very busy corner of the Manhattan. And so I think it's better if Phil can talk, just to say a few things about this project, and which is also his home, one of his homes, and where he works, and it's his creation.
I wasn't prepared for this, James.
I didn't prepare for this, so it's we are very free flow. I didn't prepare this.
Can you?
This
Can
is
you
just
hear me?
something. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for this, but before I say anything, Luisa's presentation was just beautiful. I would like to have it in a book. I would like to be able to have the plates to look at tonight and to think about. And I first visited the Parthenon when I was 17 years old, back in the 1950s, I'm sorry to say, happy to say. And I've been there several times over the decades since. And to see the overall presentation of yours, bringing so many things together. I've not seen that for the Parthenon, for the Acropolis, ever before. You don't, unless you get a very, very thick, stagnant book. But anyway, I enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Speaking of archaeology and 19th century and 18th century, and one of the inspirations for this project in Chelsea, where my partner and I just wanted to create an escape, an oasis right in the middle of the city, but a place that, like James said, could be a little village of people. We are very interrelated in the building with the artists, the interns, the people in the gallery, ourselves, and living there. But I saw an engraving, a lithograph, a print really of a drawing from the Napoleonic campaign in Egypt. And there was a meticulous, it was pre-photography really, and they did beautiful renderings and plans of a lot of the architecture in Egypt, Cairo, that has since disappeared. But there was one that I saw, and I managed to obtain a print of it that was a little bit of an inspiration for this project. But it was a courtyard house, and it was about this size, actually. But I lived in Japan and India and Southeast Asia for some time working, and I traveled a lot also. And I had experienced the pleasure of entering buildings through courtyards. And in this busy corner at 23rd Street and 10th Avenue in Manhattan, you really need a transition from the public space to the more interior space. So the building gradually unfolds from very public to the next level of public, and the courtyard is actually open to the neighborhood. People can come in and stand and enjoy sculpture, but that was really kind of the psychological, emotional underpinning of the building. And it's been a pleasure to work in and to live in. And it embodies a lot of my partner, who unfortunately, after 45 years together, he passed away last November, which I'm still adjusting to. And one reason I'm at my home in East Hampton, quarantined because of the virus. Unfortunately, James and I won't be able to see each other this trip, but that's a little bit of the background of the project here. So thank you, James, for giving me a little bit of a face to your friends. So I'll stop there for now.
Thank you, Phil.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you have an interior view at all?
Yes. Pepe, can you show the next image, which is a shot of the interior garden with the sculpture? Pepe? Yes, right there. Yeah. That's the garden, the sculpture garden.
I think it's Nelly Beckman from Switzerland.
Yeah.
Earlier today, you were discussing, the future, how we're going to find ourselves at home or not, working or not, where we're going to be, how we're going to travel or not. And I think that it's on everyone's mind, but we're so early in the game here. It's such a new kind of world that speculations are very strange. And I think anything could happen. I think it's a very schizophrenic time, and we're all so globally connected in a way that we've never been before via all the mechanizations and communication possibilities. And at the same time, we're all isolated within ourselves. Even, crazy to see someone at the supermarket, as Giuseppe would say. But ironically, at the moment, I'm just seeing my own building, which I haven't seen since February, which is the first time I've been away from it ever for that long. In a way, it's a little universe, within, it's only a 5,500 square foot building at the moment, which is not terribly large, but it embodies so many facets of work. And it's actually designed in a way that I think the gallery owner, Jim Kempner, is actually probably, because of the pandemic and economic difficulties, we may be converting part of his space for him to be able to move into the building as well as have his gallery there. So it will be a work in transition, trying to find a way into this new working model as we move forward in time. And we're communicating with each other, not just Jim and myself, but others in New York, about seeing this situation from now and where are we going to be 2 years from now, but where are we going to be next month? So when Jim and I meet every 2 weeks and have a discussion about our new kind of situation, we have a discussion about what the next month is going to be, meaning perhaps what might be the next 3 months bringing, and then move forward to maybe then talk about 6 months, but not to try to over forecast where we think we're going to be 2 years from now, because even our experts in the world don't know where we're all going to be in all of our different countries and all kinds of travel restrictions or not, except month by month or 3 months at a time. So I did say to James a few weeks ago, I kind of took the Chinese Mao's program of the 5-year Chinese plan as a role model for better or worse, and condensed it to 3 months for the pandemic. I can only think about one day at a time and a week at a time. And it's especially strange for me, and I'm sorry to be personal about it, but because the last thing I would have imagined after living and working with my partner, we'd known each other for 54 years and lived together for 46 years and worked together. And it was a wonderful experience every single day. And I didn't think on the heels of losing him last November, I would have this kind of isolation forecast on me. But I'm finding it actually a very interesting time to be sequestered and to be able to rethink my life and what the history of it has been and where I might go from here. And all at once, the whole rest of the world is in their own versions of that. It's not just me isolated all at once. Right. So, and I'll stop there again. Maybe I'll see you all again next week. So
yeah,
I'm happy that James invited me into your world, and I wasn't so sure when I opened Zoom. I was invited into Giuseppe's chat room, and I wasn't so sure. But anyway, nice meeting all of you.
Nice to
so
meet
good
you.
to see you, Phil.
Yeah. You too, James.
I'm just speechless and very moved by Phil's talk and also Luisa's drawings. I think they're so thoughtful, beautiful, and show such tenderness to the world and even to this time and situation. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I was talking this with a friend from Boston yesterday, and maybe there is no right answer. I mean, we started this Zoom room trying to talk something out of it, but maybe there is no correct answer. I don't know if there are correct questions, but maybe there are correct attitudes toward world and people and even the problems. And I can sense that in Phil's talk and in Luisa's drawings, this tenderness toward the world. And they're so beautiful. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you both. And then thank you, James, for this gift, because you make us a gift introducing us Phil and Philip and his gallery in that corner. I'm really I have a young niece. She's Felicia. She's 8, and she's very young. And at that, when you are so young, you are easy to be surprised. And every day she told me, "Uncle, I'm shocked. I'm shocked for everything." She's shocked, no? But I'm shocked. Discovering in this same episode Piccionis and Philip and the meantime was a poem in America by Sergio Leone and Morricone. Why? Because I'm a lot, at many of you, I suppose, as a woman and man from this era, we are attracted from the mess of the composition of the fragments. When I saw the building, the gallery designed by Philip, I recognized this kind of beautiful. I'm very attracted. I'm addicted from the composition by fragments, no? Because my life is a composition of fragments, and this conversation is a composition from fragments, and even once upon a time in America, inspired by, as you know, La Recherche du Temps Perdu, by Marcel Proust, is a trip into the fragments of our life. And as an architect, I have a dream every time I work, every time I'm searching a solution for a project, to find the shape of the mess, the shape of this kind of mess. This is our life in this era. And Philip, you find it in that project, and I love it much. As Piccionis in the path, in this, that wall is amazing, no?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
building a wall using, but anyway, now I have to leave space to David, because he live in the middle of, in the belly of the mess, because Manhattan is the belly of the mess, where everything could happen, where everything is have to be metabolized, and you are so quiet in your garden, and this image is for me really stunning.
Well, you know, maybe it's sort of the same. It seems to me it's been a day about finding order out of many different pieces. And that extends to Louise's images and to Philip's project, and even this group, I think. You know, a month ago, I didn't know this group existed, and now I do, and there are many different points of view, and there's a kind of order that comes from that, and the same from what's behind me. There are all of these different plants, and you can't tell it's a jungle back there, but there's still a kind of order that comes out of it. So I remain an optimist in these difficult days to think about what will happen. And part of that optimism comes from gatherings like this one. So thank you, Giuseppe, for bringing us all here, James, for making these introductions, and to the rest of you. It's wonderful to make your acquaintance and hear from you.
Thank you to you, Dave. Thank you to you. So, Emily, what's happened there? It's still day.
Yes, but it's getting darker.
The long thin day. I was in Helsinki last time. Was in December. At 3 p.m. was already night.
The sunshine.
At 4, I had a sauna. And 5, I had my dinner. Now you are having your breakfast, I suppose.
I'm in the balcony. We have a very pretty balcony on our flat, and here some plants take care by my flatmates.
And where are you?
Now I'm studying art university, and I'm living in the dormitory on the campus in Helsinki.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because in our series, I'm really happy to put together architect, teacher, professor, every kind, and also students because they are the future. Luisa, they are the future.
They are the now also. Just the future.
As Michael, guys, last week Michael sent me a nice picture from his amazing house in Australia with his guys. I met his daughter last year in Milano during the Art Week. And Michael has an awesome and an amazing, a very nice family. And when he sent me picture about his guys, I saw the future. No? Nele, you have in your back the past, but his past can become future.
To the young.
Because I remember how you used this drawing to develop a project you done.
Yeah, exactly. To make the wallpaper in the hotel.
I remember perfectly.
The lemon garden.
And the picture Gregorio has as image to represent him in this episode. This comes directly from the past. Is the paint of Dorian Gray, I suppose. This is Gregorio when he has 20. Gregorio, are you still with us?
The first time.
Are you still alive, Gregorio? No. So, friends, I would like Michael concludes this debate, telling us something to meet again the next episode. You have to do the conclusion of the speech.
Okay. Oh, that's very hard.
Today, because I know in Perth is early morning. I suppose he started with a huge cup of coffee, the episode, but now he's ready to fall asleep again.
That's okay. It's a wonderful, very sensitive and touching session today. And I've discovered a new career at my advanced age, which is this kind of meeting point of archaeology and design. I think this is wonderful. I knew this existed, but today opened my eyes a lot. And I like the way everyone's discussion brought it into the context of where we are. It's fantastic. And just in the last 5 minutes, I heard a bird wake up here as well, just kind of waking up, cheeping, getting ready for a new day. So that's what I'm going to do as well. So this has been maybe one of the best sessions I think we've had, and wonderful to meet you all around the globe. This is amazing, and thank you, Ben.
I'll say good afternoon.
Also, good afternoon. Sure.
Buongiorno.
Sure.
Buongiorno.
So, to be honest, this is one of the advantage we had from this weird and so hard period, because we discovered that how it's easy to connect people with people even without travel. To be honest, I can't wait to travel again. I need to meet each of you in person. But at the meantime, we are discovering all these tools and how much is beautiful to have friends. So I'm very happy to meet you also this evening, and as our
Guys,
tradition.
sorry.
Ciao, Greg. As our tradition imposes us, we are ready to say bye-bye using the same sound check we use it to start, but in this case, choosing just one piece from Ennio Morricone is very difficult. It's very difficult because he gave us a lot of amazing soundtracks, and these soundtracks are now soundtracks of our life. So I'm romantic. We have a lot. We have many women in this episode. So this Deborah Teams is for you, and I'm happy to share my screen with this very nice soundtrack dedicated to all of you. Thank you to all of you.
Ciao.
Grazie to everybody. Grazie Luisa, grazie Nele, grazie Alice, grazie Emily.
Ciao.
Thank you Philip, thank you David, thank you Michael, thank you Claudio, James, Gregorio, and thank you Ennio Morricone.
Ciao.
Bye.
Buonanotte.
Grazie. Ciao.
Alice, vai a lavorare.
Vado
See you
subito.
soon. Feel free to
Luca.
come back with us every time you want. This is a garden just for you.
Grazie.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Buonanotte.